used. Temperatures in the city dipped to -5 overnight, but the wind chill factor brought the temperature closer to -15. Still, some of the homeless stayed outside. 100 beds were available last night, and 60 more could have been made available under the city's extreme weather protocol, but only about 50 beds were used. Port Alberni is also digging out. That city was hit Monday with a very heavy snowfall in a very short period of time. Up to 25 centimeters of snow fell in just 4 hours. And now Port Alberni is expecting the coldest temperatures on Vancouver Island. Kendall Hansen has that story.
People armed with shovels and machinery are everywhere. Depending on where you were in the Alberni Valley, 10 to 25 centimeters of snow fell Monday over the course of 4 hours.
It was coming down so thick at times that it was almost a whiteout.
The falling snow made driving extremely difficult. By the end of the day, Port Alberni RCMP recorded 28 traffic accidents.
That much snow that fast is really difficult to keep up with, because as fast as you can get any kind of product down on the ground or plow anything off, it's falling just right behind you.
Thanks to the snow stopping and city crews working around the clock, road conditions are much better. Only a few roads on steep hills are closed, but this driver still ran into trouble driving down Argyle Street.
What happened?
I don't know. I went to downshift at the top of the hill, and the next thing I knew, the truck started going sideways.
For the second night, Port Alberni will likely record a record low for this time of year. The cold temperature is already causing frozen pipes around the city.
This is the first one, then I got another one to go look at, and then, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of messages on the answering machine. I haven't even checked it at the shop, so.
With a low of -11 expected, Mounties are warning drivers to be cautious.
With the motoring traffic, it creates a slush, and then that freezes, and now you create an ice underneath.
An ice that makes roads dangerous. The first dose of winter weather this year for those in the Alberni Valley.
And things are even colder in Vancouver. The city's smashing a cold temperature record overnight. Today's high of only -3 broke a record set in 1985. While much of the city stayed indoors, as the CBC's Tim Weeks reports, many people found themselves outside working in the cold today.
The continuing cold created a skin of ice on ponds, but not strong enough to walk on. The ice is thick enough to cause problems with some pools, though. It can block filters.
Before you're supposed to go inside and clean the filter, right? That's because of the ice, you cannot go inside. It's freezing inside.
He can't remember having to do this before, and it's making him do his job a little differently now.
Oh, it's very, very cold. I have to stay just a few minutes here. 10 minutes, I'll go back to the office.
Some firefighters also drew a cold assignment. They're setting up dozens of displays and tens of thousands of lights for the Bright Nights and Stanley Park event to raise money for the burn fund. Those bright lights need to be clipped into place. And in sub-zero temperatures, that's not so easy.
I would say the biggest challenge would be getting the little zap straps with your fingers because they're so cold. Trying to get all the little things done would be the coldest thing.
Keeping warm is a challenge for street crews as well. Here, the water needs to be treated so it won't freeze. And workers say they need to stay active so they don't freeze.
Get moving. Get nice and dress out there and get going.
Near Granville Island, the building's waterfall looks like rain, except that icicles now chart the growth of the cold snap. At JJ Bean, a chain from the roof, there's now an icy column. It's also a visual reminder that left outside, coffee cream turns to ice cream.
Well, we have to make sure that we don't fill our milk and our condiment stands up all the way, because we're getting iced milk, and I don't think people want iced drinks around this time of year.
They may not want iced drinks, but they don't need umbrellas.
A woman is homeless tonight after a suspicious fire ripped through her home southwest of Duncan early this morning. To make matters worse, her son was arrested at the scene. The fire is still smoldering at this home hours after the fire broke out, around 1 o'clock this morning. The house was fully engulfed when police and firefighters arrived. It couldn't be saved. The mother and the son who live here weren't hurt. Investigators are treating the fire as suspicious. The woman's 27-year-old son was arrested, and police should know tomorrow if the fire was arson.
They've lost not only their house, but their possessions, and even though they haven't been hurt, I mean, we are very happy about that. They still are going through very difficult times, so we're taking steps to make sure that they get the help they need.
The fire scene was still too hot for investigators to enter until late this afternoon. The Police in Victoria are recommending charges tonight against a city bylaw officer. That move coming after an incident in October involving 2 City of Victoria bylaw officers.
So Crown will review it because there are some, contributing factors to this based on the fact that they are acting in a capacity as a bylaw officer and what force is necessary or allowed.
The details of the incident aren't being released, but police say the officers were trying to enforce city bylaws at the time of the alleged assault. The Better Business Bureau is under the microscope tonight. This after a complaint was lodged about a moving company. A customer wasn't happy with that company, and he became even more incensed with the response he got from the Bureau. The CBC's Kathy Tomlinson explains.
Dale Sketchley needed this dining set moved, so he hired a company with an A rating from the Better Business Bureau.
It was one of the worst experiences I've ever had dealing with any business.
The movers charged much more than he expected. Swore at him to boot, he says. He complained to the BBB. Without proof in writing, it said case closed.
And none of my arguments were adequately addressed.
The BBB still gives the movers an A, despite this and another recent complaint. The company is a paying member.
They need to look at how that rating system works.
We looked at BBB ratings for movers in Vancouver and Victoria. Everyone that pays at least $300 a year gets an A, even those with complaints. Non-members that don't pay, most of them get a B or worse.
Is there anything else in that house, or?
Ed Pomiletsky got tired of paying for his membership, so he moved on.
Okay.
Then the BBB got one complaint about his company. It moved his rating to D-.
Either you use them and they take care of you, or otherwise it looks like they just put you the worst rating and leave you for nothing.
The Bureau says it sent him letters but didn't hear back. Yet this paying member, which also didn't answer a complaint, kept its A+.
I didn't pay the membership, and they did. That's the only difference I see.
The Bureau insisted everyone gets graded equally.
You can see an accredited business go from an A+ rating down to an F immediately if they don't resolve one complaint.
Then
They still have an A rating. You've caught me, and that's all I can say on that one. You've caught me.
Meantime, the Council of Better Business Bureaus in the U.S. says it is fixing the ratings because of criticism. Members will no longer get extra points, which appears to confirm that the system was rigged in their favor all along.
CHEK joins us tonight for a look at sports, and hockey's coming up. Vancouver Canucks back at home tomorrow, doing a little tweaking to get ready for that game.
Yeah.
They lost the last 4.
Yeah, that's right. Time to right the ship here a little bit. Yeah, they're playing host to the Colorado Avalanche tomorrow night, Tony. Now, the Canucks, well, they've been okay so far this season, but they're lacking a bit from last year as far as goals scored from big players. In fact, between Michael Samuelsson, Mason Raymond, and Alex Burrows, those 3 combined for 90 goals last season. We're a quarter of the way through this season, and the 3 have combined for just 9 goals. Will have more on the Canucks and their scoring, or lack thereof, by some of their big guns coming up. We'll also look at the Victoria Salmon Kings back on the island after a 2-week road trip. The Salmon Kings have won 3 in a row, and are hoping to keep that going starting tomorrow night when they play host to the Idaho Steelheads. We'll have more on the Salmon Kings preparations and a complete look at sports, Tony, coming up here in around 10 minutes.
All right, Jeff, we'll see you then.
Okay.
The royal family fanatic. We beat the Queen's biggest fan. That story and much more still to come on CHEK News.
I'm Ed Bain. Your full island forecast is coming up. But first, here's a look at some holiday hotspots.
Resort temperatures are brought to you by Big O Tires on Quadra for the best deals on winter wheels. Closed captioning of this CHEK program is brought to you in part by RE/MAX. RE/MAX, Canada's favorite agents.
Seriously, you took them as a trade-in.
I didn't want to be put on the naughty list, so they can fly.
The
Bring Home a Honda event is on now. We've created these limited special edition Accords and Civics, loaded with no charge added features, no payments for 90 days, and a $500 cash bonus. But it's just for the holidays, so hurry in.
Police urgently need your help to fight crime in our community. Watch this CHEK News Crime Stoppers reenactment.
On May 7, 2007, near the town of Lake Cowichan, Daryl Rayner went for a morning walk with his dog. He was last seen at approximately 8:30 a.m. by a forest worker on the Fair Service Main logging road. Daryl Rayner has not been seen since. An intensive ground and air search was conducted for the next 4 days. Family members continued to search for several weeks without success. Daryl was 53 years old when he went missing. He is described as being 5'8", 174 pounds, slender build, with brown eyes and brown graying hair. If you or anybody you know has information on the disappearance of Daryl Rayner, please call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477.
Callers are not asked their name and can earn a cash reward for information leading to an arrest. Crime Stoppers, proudly supported by CHEK News.
It's a friendly smile, it's a helping hand. We simply do things better. You feel like family at Country Grocer. Growing locally fresh, only the island's best. Supporting your community, the local grocer that cares and shares. It's where you feel like family at Country Grocer.
Facing life head on, just like you, north of 49, Fridays at 7:30 on CHEK.
Fans and players were forced to flee a busy Greater Victoria rink this evening. Staff ordered everyone out of the Archie Browning Arena in Esquimalt after an apparent ammonia leak. Firefighters and police sealed off the building, but after about an hour the gas cleared and the area was declared safe. No one was hurt in the incident. In other news tonight, do you know what you'll be doing on April 29th? Well, it's expected about 1 billion of us around the world will be glued to televisions and computer screens watching a royal wedding. Prince William and fiancée Kate Middleton announcing a date and a location today. The ceremony will be held at Westminster Abbey. That's where the Queen was married 63 years ago. And for one Vancouver Island royal watcher, the big day can't come soon enough. As Dean Stokes reports, she gives the term loyal subject a whole new meaning.
And it's a nice set. It's from England.
When it comes to royal watchers, no other Canadian can surely be as serious as 93-year-old Gladys Yeomans. Her and her husband used to head the Monarchist League of Canada, but these days her passion for the royals can be seen throughout her Qualicum Beach home. Everywhere you look is royal memorabilia.
It's the first one I've seen with the Union Jack on, and I thought it was very typical to have in my collection.
She soon informs me that what we see upstairs is just the tip of the iceberg. So we head downstairs to a room completely devoted and now bursting at the seams with everything royal family.
Do you have any idea how many pieces you have?
No, I'm afraid I don't. I lost track myself.
She figures it's in the thousands, but she does remember the very first piece she bought, this spoon. She picked it up at the Eaton store in downtown Winnipeg 50 years ago.
And it was the coronation of the Queen's mother and father in 1937 for 25 cents. And I bought that little spoon, and that started me on the royals.
And that very first spoon would turn into a collection of 1,000 spoons, and that's separate from the rest of her royal collection. That includes everything from plates and cups and saucers and pictures, a piece of carpet, and her very own crown.
Just about everything that's made in that type of thing, I've been able to pick up. An old clock, and it just goes on and on. It's really amazing what has been made, you know, in their honor.
She says it's a shame fewer and fewer Canadians care about the monarchy, but thinks the April wedding might change that. She's also worried about the future of this collection, hoping another collector or a museum will take it over and enjoy it as much as she has.
And police in Ohio are looking for some thieves who got away with a pair of fur coats. It happened at a store in Westlake last Thursday. The incident was caught on tape and shows a woman browsing through the fur coats when she lifts up her dress and stuffs one right down her pants or stockings. 2 other people are seen on the tape, distracting store employees. After the incident, 2 coats went missing, valued at $5,000. And it was cold in Ohio that day. Time now for Ed Bain and his look at the weather forecast. What's happening tomorrow, Ed?
Thank you very much, Tony. Certainly a cold